It's great to be back. Well, we go live once in a while right here on One on One. And what we do is we find interesting conversations to have that affect you, your businesses, and the society at large. My name is Titilayo Oyinsan, and it's a pleasure. If you would like to reach out to us or be part of the program sometime soon, it's not a problem. All you have to do is reach out to us. You can always just send an email. That's dynamitepodcastnetwork@gmail.com. Dynamitepodcastnetwork@gmail.com, and we will get back to you. Today's show is going to be an interesting one. Now, each year, the Black Friday shopping event dominates the news. It dominates breaking news, sales records, in fact. But does this annual consumer frenzy really actually benefit retailers? I've asked myself this question a few times, and there are a lot more savvy shoppers out there these days. Everyone is looking for a quick money maker. And there are a lot more savvy shoppers. So let's find out a bit more about how this Black Friday thing actually works. How do retailers face this massive logistical challenge? How do they fulfill orders? Is it really worth participating in? Now, the last quarter of the year, that's the calendar year, includes a period from Black Friday to New Year, and it's often considered the most profitable for majority of retailers, but not all of them emerge as winners from the Black Friday selling period. So there are news stories and there are newsmakers, and we believe we have one of them right here on One with Titilaya Oyinsan. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's find out if we can get to the bottom of this phenomenon. With statistics indicating a rise in online shoppers in 2022, retailers, or should we call them e-tailers, they need to find a way to keep up with this surge in demand while potentially managing limited quantities and preventing e-commerce glitches. Olatayo Ladipo-Ajai, the Regional Manager, West Africa at Infobip, says businesses need to carefully manage the customer journey and ensure that a positive customer experience is maintained during this period. Failing to do so can make or break a brand's reputation. Let's hear from the man himself. Welcome, Mr. Olatayo Ladipo-Ajai to One on One.
Hi
Hi.
everyone. Hello. Hi Titi. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me here.
It's good to have you here. Now, I've always had this thing about Black Friday. A lot of people even save their money over a few months just to wait for those amazing deals that they potentially may get during Black Friday. Could you give us a little history into Han? What do you think?
Well, I mean, for Nigeria, right? Black Friday is more or less something that started uh, after the onset of the e-commerce platforms, the e-tailers, retailers trying to globalize what they do. I mean, Black Friday has been existing for time immemorial, in the Western world. But I mean, it became really prominent in Nigeria after the likes of the big e-commerce platforms launched in Nigeria, and you have all sorts of fantastic deals coming up and things like that. So yeah, that's just basically it. So give and take, it was maybe almost like 10 years old if you look at it. But right now, it's one of the biggest things that happens in Nigeria for sales, especially when it comes to retailers and online platforms.
So interestingly enough, I've been extremely observant when it comes to online e-tailers, let's say online retailers. This is because I tried my hand at drop shipping at some point or another. I also had a lot of cosmetics that I was bringing in from outside the country, and I was trying to find a way to quickly sell them off because, they have a certain shelf life. So I did quite a bit of research. Is it the big three or the big four? Talking Alibaba, AliExpress, Walmart, who else? Etsy, and the like, all those big guys. And they seem to have it covered. They seem to have a way of offering you almost everything to make you get things done quicker. But it is quite complicated, I have to say. It's never that easy. Um, so after a while, I noted that websites were having this click to buy kind of feature on their sites. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and whether it actually works or it doesn't?
Okay, so good question. The reality is the world has evolved. I mean, if you take us back a little bit to look at how we are also trying to globalize from the Nigerian perspective, I mean, in short, the whole of Africa. And I think one of the most significant occurrences that really sped that up is the pandemic, right? And most organizations and most retailers and e-tailers, e-commerce platforms that were still evolving in between brick and mortar and having an online presence they had no choice than just to speed up the pace at which they are evolving. So I mean, when you say today, how do retailers compete in this increased competition field that they have in front of them? Already when you're having that kind of thought, it's already the fact that maybe the retailer or the e-tailer or the e-commerce platform or whoever is already late to the game. So, I mean, the pandemic really, put a lot of things into perspective for a lot of organizations to really digitize, as a result of how they want to reach their customer more efficiently and more, with speed and all that. So, what really has changed and what we should look at here and how it influences us is that we need to understand that the philosophy and the mindset around the customer has changed. So ideas like click to buy, membership platforms, loyalty schemes, and all those kind of things that encourage the customers to close up their transactions are a result of a lot of things that have happened around the ideology around the customer. So before, the customer used to be outside of the circle of influence in terms of, we just thought about the customer around demand and supply. But now that mindset has changed. Now all the e-tailers, retailers, and all the digital platforms now see that the customer is now in the center of the entire ecosystem. So rather than being outside and we tell the customer, hey, this is a platform, come and use it, and whenever you need. Now we're building from the customer outwards. So the customer is in the middle, and we need to celebrate and engage the customer around. So people that like yourself, like you mentioned, that you had ideas around owning a platform or doing some sales and stuff like that, must understand this. So before you go into it, you need to understand where the position of the customer is, and I call them two values that you need to put on your in front of you. It's called comfort and value. You need to present the customer with comfort and value, and that's what click to buy and the rest of those other nice features on those websites and platforms that you see in the West and even locally here are imputing to ensure that they get that attention in that market.
Mm. So there is like a chain. There's a movement from the used to be from, let's say, from the farm. Let's talk about maybe perishable goods now. From the farm to the manufacturer to the wholesaler, then to the retailer, right? And then from the retailer to the customer. And I believe marketing online platforms probably started that way as well. They started with that journey in mind. So what you basically said is it starts from the customer now, how the customer can be quicker satisfied, and that's key. So now the retailer uh, now is online, meaning that they have all sorts of other challenges. Meaning, when it comes to figuring out what the customer wants, they go online to find this information. Now, the details that we have online, are they actually accurate, or how do we, as retailers, potential retailers, begin to do our own research on our possible customer base?
Okay, so like we all know, I mean, pretty much in terms of the digital aspect of Nigeria, if we're looking at Nigeria, so that we have a case study, we know that there's a X percent. It's when people say 20, 30, 40% of people that really engage, and these are the guys that have smartphones and they're able to, get involved in all the digital products and things that are available and all the online purchasing and things like that. But if I get your question correctly, how do retailers now attract a demography or their target audience to themselves? And to answer that, you need to start thinking back to what I said earlier from the ABCs. It has to be about comfort and value, right? And those two things is what helps you attract the right people. So unlike before, when those days you want to sell something, you just go online and you type some nice thing in your SMS and you broadcast it. It doesn't work like that anymore. The customers are more sophisticated and they're more aware. So we call it, you need to start having the omni-channel mindset. You need to start thinking across board, across the different types of channels. And when you say channel, it means the access to the customer. So before, we just had the access to the customer maybe via email, via billboards, SMS, and maybe web banners and things like that. But now you have access to the customer via social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the rest of them. You have access to the customer via WhatsApp, via all sorts, mobile apps, and these are the channels you need to flesh out and make prepared for you to engage your customers. So you need to go and meet the customer where they reside presently digitally in today's world. And one of those easiest place to find out where your customers are is in the social media space. So organizations that don't have a social media channel strategy around customer engagement and customer experience will become frustrated because they don't see the customers anywhere anymore. You can open branches and wait for footfall and all those kind of things, but in terms of really impacting the virtual space as an online platform or whatever you are going to be, you need to go to where the customers are to drag them into your platform, and that's what you're thinking about at the moment.
All right, so we are here one-on-one with Mr. Olatayo Ladipo-Ajai, Regional Manager, West Africa at Infobip. Now, he's here to shed a little bit more light on how retailers can optimize their online stores for Black Friday and why it's important for them to plan ahead. Speaking of planning ahead, how far forward in the year do we need to start planning for Black Friday? Because according to the statistics, the most sales ever, the most deliveries ever happen between Black Friday and Christmas and New Year. So how early in the year do we start preparing for it?
So in reality, there shouldn't be a time plan. It should be a now plan. So you should provide um, innovation. You should provide service delivery, methodologies to consistently provide value to your customer, and not just on Black Friday. So, but I understand where you come from when you talk about Black Friday, because that's where all the heat comes from. People are trying to grab customers, and there's a lot of offers going on. So you need to get the mind share of the customer and also the market share of the customer. So first things first is to understand this new ideology around creating value and comfort for the customer and design everything that you have to offer the customer via that, engaging the customer through those different channels, and also having a customer experience, customer engagement strategy. It is not just one size fits all. Different segments and different product lines will utilize different strategy and different things. So the thinking has to be, like I said, omni-channel. You need to represent yourself in all those channels. Your digital channel self should be the same when the customer is engaging you on WhatsApp, when he's engaging you on website, when he's engaging you on the social media channels, and engaging you on all those different platforms. You should be able to offer part of your services in those different channels. So if a customer wants to consummate a sale from calling your contact center, it should be possible, because it's all about, like I said, value and comfort. If it's not possible, then it should be able to, it should be automated in such a way that it continues from another channel that is available to the customer, or from another channel that the customer decides or agrees to take the transaction to. So we have cases of people calling the call center, and they can actually place an order there, get an order number, and that order number can be automated and sent to their WhatsApp channel, and they can continue the discussions there and get a link of payment there, and do other things. So it is a universal type of view. So you prepare for Black Friday from this Friday or whatever Friday it
From
is. You
now,
get what I mean?
from now.
It has to be, yeah.
I have to say, I'm looking through this video graphic here. I know Infobip has really put a lot of information out there about how people can basically optimize their strategies. I've noted also that most businesses are relying more on social media than their own website. Even though optimizing their own website is key, they still rely on social media for the pull to drag people away from other things that might be distracting them, so to speak. Let's say, off the top of my head, if you are a new business owner, would you advise having a website, or would you advise just using social media, especially when it comes to?
So our advice that you focus on communicating to the customer in whichever way that is possible. I mean, one of the biggest challenges we have is a lot of retailers don't understand what communication is. Back in the days, we think when we send messages and alerts of transactions to customers, then that's communication. No, communication only occurs when it's two-way, and that's what we've tried to build from Infobip, a platform where you can have all the communication channels in under one layer, all the communication items that give you value that sends value to the customer under one layer, and help you orchestrate how all of them can tie in as a bundle. So it has to be two-way, and you must be able to awake to the moments. And when I say awake to the moments, you see, what is vital is being able to listen to the customer when he says something and being able to respond, or even being able to even listen to the customer in the first place. So for example, the customer goes on your platform, it's Black Friday, and he chats, he looked at this item, that item, put them in the chart, but he wasn't interested in them. Maybe he has a budget constraint and all that. Your platform or whatever you're using should be able to orchestrate the continuing of that discussion maybe 2 weeks later and say, hey, remember, we saw that you liked this item. Would you still be, interested in this item if you have a 2% slash discount on it? Do you have a payment constraint? You want to, talk to our third-party vendors that provide, short loan services? I mean, that is the thinking that we need to have, around these whole elements. So, I mean, communication, very key, and that's what we should focus on. Multi-vendor, like I said earlier on, multi-channels, like I said earlier on, which will allow you to go to where the customer is. Like I said, the customer is now the focus. That's why everybody's going to social media, because that's where the customer aggregates. That's where they live right now. So, there are two selves. There's the physical self and the digital self. The digital self lives in
Yeah,
social media and the rest of them. So you
yeah,
can't take business out of where people live. Even in the physical sense, when you live somewhere, you have a shopping mall down the road, right? Or you have someone outside your gate
yeah,
that sells something,
yeah,
right? So that's the same way businesses should see themselves in social media. You're there contributing to life issues and stuff, but you're also there presenting your products and services and stuff, right? So
So my next question would be, on a Black Friday, are there any products or services that shouldn't be looking forward to Black Friday as a means of sales? And I say this because I just feel like um, a lot of people like to bandwagon, so to speak. But not every product and service needs to be sold at a discount. There are some that are considered premium, should always remain premium. Do you think, even if you've created such a premium brand that it's always in demand anyway, do you think companies, brands, retailers such as that should still jump on the Black Friday train?
well, as long as your product is being advertised in any form, you should look at Black Friday. I mean, aside from essential services that are different, like professional services like doctors and those kind of services, when it comes to products and products that are in season and out of season, there is a need, because there's a timeline attached to it. There's a need to still engage Black Friday. Now, if you have a top line product, is exquisite and all that, does not mean that everybody likes some form of customer appreciation. So Black Friday is like a celebration of the customer, really, and you cannot deny even the most affluent customer that opportunity. So yes, you should engage. Maybe your strategy will be different. Maybe the kind of channels you engage the customer on will be different. Maybe the kind of things you'll be offering at that point should be different. Also, remember that it's a growth process. So if you have products that are tied to maybe affluence and stuff, you still
Yeah.
have a layer of people that want to engage into that product. So can you encourage them by creating offers to enable them to, acquire that product? And in turn, you're also building a customer base that will remain consistent for the future. So I mean, you
Yeah.
have to have a balanced type of customer engagement.
So there are a lot of premium products, like, for instance, new cars or expensive jewelry, expensive watches, which are basically considered extremely premium. They're on the high side in price. They've always been. They can be whittled down to talking about products that stand the test of time. In a bid to take your line from red to blue, to speak, do you really think that these retailers should consider Black Friday? A lot of them have, I don't want to use ego as a word, a lot of them feel like, we're up there, we don't really need this. But I'm thinking about the consumers and the market and the situation in the economy today. Do you think retailers like that engage?
So if your strategy is not about the people, it's a different thing entirely. If it's about a segment of people or the segment of the people, that's a different thing. But as long as you have a retail store, right, located on a high street, and whatever kind of brand you are, I mean, and you do some type of sales or some type of offers, yes, you definitely should think about the strategy around Black Friday. I mean, that's my opinion, but it depends on your strategy, But like I said, the customer pyramid itself is consistently growing and declining. So imagine that the customers that you were giving attention to tomorrow might not be there anymore, and you need to refill that funnel. So it has to be there has to be a way to make it all even out in terms of large strategy. So in my opinion, you should look at that Black Friday. Yeah.
So tentatively, most retailers anticipate that once they have a good Black Friday campaign, their books are balanced all the way from the red all the way into the black, and they make good sales. But with the way the dollar is fluctuating, the way the economy has been going, it does feel like a lot of retailers might be shooting themselves in the foot, trying to give deals, and not really out if it's going to be good for their business in the long run. What do we need to do to make sure that we don't end up biting the bullet, so to speak, just because we want to engage in Black Friday?
So, I mean, that's why you need to have a plan, So, you need to have a plan that is not just about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 4 months before Black Friday. Like when we're growing up, as kids, we know that, it's going to be Christmas and you need to have a plan, right? So, there are two different things: making money and also customer providing a befitting customer experience and providing some type of customer loyalty bargain or whatever it is that you want to do. So it has to be planned in that sense. So you have to look at the profitability, which yes, every retailer needs to have, and also look at that customer experience, customer engagement, and increasing your customer, bracket. So you can isolate one from one. So sometimes you might look at breaking even and things like that. I'm sure a lot of retailers already have this, and why you see that most of the retailers that have physical branches and digital presence do more or do maybe a bit better in terms of the returns, because this is something that has also been part of their plans and things like that. So and they clear and stock clearance and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's there's no one answer to this, but the situation of the
Hmm.
country is a global thing as well. So it will just have to all skip into the customer, somehow, somewhere.
True. Very true. I'm always quite worried whenever I see some very outrageous deals. And the first question that comes to my head is, if I was the business owner, do I actually expect to break even after giving this deal? Or, for instance, maybe the deal they're giving is so good, it's possible that they're not actually giving the premium service that they're offering. You begin to have that doubt, skepticism in the market. Then also, when it comes to Black Friday, immediately after comes Christmas. So, do you think attention should be focused more on Black Friday, or should you maybe just pick either or? Pick either Black Friday or Christmas to focus on for balancing your books?
Yeah, so for retailers that are in that, especially around the ones in that digital space, I would advise to have both strategies. But it's a seller's market. It's a customer celebration for Black Friday. I mean, that's what it's focused on. Christmas is more around family, and things like that. And in some other countries, it's not even a time for sales, particularly because it's winter and all that. But I mean, so Black Friday's focus should be for the customer, and retailers should give it, in my own view, a lot of attention. If you notice what happened in the last 4 years, based on the traffic, the customer engagement traffic that we carry for our numerous customers across West Africa, we've seen a rapid increase. As of last year, we did 30% more traffic than we did in the previous year, and it's showing even despite the fact that we were just coming out from COVID. So you can see that it's growing and people are getting more aware and are looking forward to it. I can also tell you that a lot of people shop for Christmas and Black Friday. So give it attention.
All right, then. So the main advice from Infobip now, let's say from you to someone who's probably never put together a package for Black Friday. It's already almost Black Friday. Now, if you haven't started planning, if you haven't done anything for Black Friday, as at right now, do you think it still makes sense to engage?
Well, it's
You
possible.
talked
I
about
mean,
planning.
yeah, so I mean, it's possible. So from a digital perspective around customer engagement, or customer experience, there are quick fixes that you can consider. I mean, one of the things that we offer in Infobip is we give you the opportunity to speak with our customer experience consultants, right? And you can have a check on your digital strategy. For instance, you say, "Oh, this is what I want to do, and I've made this plan from the beginning of the year. Can I get someone to help me verify if this makes sense?" And we can sit you in front of our customer experience consultant that are, I mean, these guys have vast experiences, subject matter experts. They know about everything that happens globally and locally, and they can, talk you through, all the different steps and all the possibilities of things that you can, engage on. So that is something that we are giving out for free for some of our customers that are, trying to do that, especially from a large scale perspective. And for our, startup customers, there are different products that we have that you can, quickly onboard on. Is it SMS, emails? If it's trying to put some type of customer friendly feature on your website, like for example, what we have, we call it the Web RTC. You can impute your customer care consultant video on your website. So someone comes to your website and is confused, doesn't know what to do. You can actually click on something and a video comes up and you talk to someone just like the way you're talking to me. you know and if you require to wait, it gives you a wait time. If you want to talk to a chatbot, you have some frequently uh, asked questions that the chatbot can answer. That can be done on your website with a chat segment on your website and things like that. Even your mobile app or whatever platform you have. So those are some of the things that you can quickly take advantage of if the time is short.
Hmm. I actually I have been worried about that short time frame and people just jumping in, not really understanding the process and ending up, not making any money and just feeling like it was all a waste of time. And I know there are probably a few people watching right now that have probably been through something similar. And it was probably because of the fact that they didn't have a proper strategy on Black Friday. But more about it before. Let's talk a bit about what your company does from the onset and what the whole idea of Infobip is.
So Infobip is, I mean, if we're gonna, if we want to look at it from all I've explained, I've given some undertone about what we really do. We're a communication platform as a service organization, and we've been offering services for over a decade globally. We're in 70 countries, and we have over 2,500 staff adding value to different organizations all over the world. And for example, in Nigeria, we've been really contributing to a lot of customer engagement, especially in the financial space and the retail space. I mean, most of the retail platforms, excuse me, use our CPaaS solutions and our channel engagement solutions. Most of the banks, over 80% of the banks, use our customer engagement channels like SMS, email, web chats. They even use our solution around artificial intelligence for chatbots on their WhatsApp channels, on their social media. So sometimes we have so many things that we offer in this plane, and we have an array of software as a service solutions that we offer in the market presently. We also offer back-end solutions that help you manage your customers a bit better, especially on the digital side of it. I mean, I made mention of the customer being engaged from different channels. So we have a solution that covers the entire channels. You can zip in all your customer requests, and one contact center agent can actually handle that. So a customer is asking something on WhatsApp, and the customer is asking something on Facebook Messenger or on Instagram or on Twitter. All that could come into our solution called conversations, and we engage in that communication I spoke about within the customer and the business through that platform. It makes it all easy. And and the back end in support of that is, when I said something about awaken the moments, right? We have a solution that also helps you orchestrate that. When the customer has made a decision or has not yet made a decision, we have a solution that can automate that to remind the customer, like I said, awaken the moment and say, hey, you have some things in the chart you've not you've not paid, you've not bought. Do you want to buy them, or do you want us to save them for you for another day? Or you call the contact center agent, and the agent, you couldn't wait for the agent to pick, and automatically awaken the moment, our moment solution moves that whole discussion to your WhatsApp. Or someone calls you up after and says, oh, we see that you're trying to reach us, sorry about that, but we're available now. Something has to create that orchestration across that communication thing I spoke about earlier. And I mean, aside from that, we are represented in all channels. So like I said, all the channels that you think exist or does not even exist in Nigeria yet are being we're being provided by us. So this is what is most interesting about what we do. Yeah.
It seems like quite a lot is happening on Infobip. I'm looking through the website and I'm thinking about all the times that I just got a reminder saying I wanted to buy this pink hairbrush, but it was only because it was pink that I saw it and I clicked on it in the first place. Not because I really needed it, but they reminded me. So if, for instance, I was a retailer, trying to sell these hair products or hair care products, I would be very pleased to see that I got a second chance at getting this customer. Um, but now it does feel like platforms like yours will probably cost a little bit more for the average retailer. Do you have any packages for SMEs, or are you just for big organizations?
So we're very competitive. I mean, in Nigeria, we have a segment of our business that is majorly self-serve, and we have thousands and thousands of customers using our products. Some of which we don't even know because they go there and they use it by themselves. They allot the resources to themselves. They know how to manage it. A lot of startups use us. I mean, we're preferred by a lot of organizations that take customer engagement serious, or organizations that have customers as being a critical part of their business. So it's not really about the cost. It's more about the availability of the service we offer and the ease at which, like I told you, comfort and value that we offer our customers. I mean, and it spreads across a whole strata of different, services, even into security space where we offer some type of security. We also offer some OTP type of, security services, and mobile identity type of security services. I mean, so there's so many things that are also going to unfold. So it's very affordable and makes it easier because we're in Nigeria and registered as a Nigerian company. You don't have to spend, your dollars or your euros. You can pay in naira to, consume our services.
Okay, I can see we have a question here from Wendy Ezomo. She's asking, what is Infobip offering its retail customers this Black Friday? Interesting question. Do you have a package for Black Friday?
So, like I said, I think I answered that earlier. So we're offering free services for you to speak with our uh, customer experience professionals and agents to
Okay.
take you through what you need to do. We're also trying to create some service around tailored service around customers that actually have a present need, to engage with their customers. Those of them we can, get their contacts. If you can contact me, they can contact, your platform, and we can have a discussion and see what we can do about that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that one. I can't wait to see what you are offering. I've put the website right there on the comment section on YouTube. And I'm thinking, I can't seem to post it on LinkedIn. Hopefully, she's still watching right now. Wendy, just visit infobip.com, or indeed, possibly they can find you on LinkedIn. Can they find you on LinkedIn?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my LinkedIn name is the same name that I have here, Olatayo
All right.
Ladipo-Ajai. Please, I always respond to messages. Feel free.
All right, then. Let me just type that out. Let me see if I can get your tag here. Okay, fantastic. So that's the name you're looking for on LinkedIn. If you would like to ask him a few questions, just shoot him a message or type in the comment section of this particular video that you're seeing now, or in this podcast comment section that you're listening to now, and we will make sure that we get back to you. At this point, we have to wrap it up. But I wanted to give people a little, if you're just tuning in, you're listening or watching One on One with Oyinsan. Today we're having a conversation with Mr. Olatayo Ladipo-Ajai. Now he is the regional manager West Africa for Infobip, and he's garnered over 16 years worth of experience with various IT companies. And his long history of leadership, alongside his experience in developing innovative sales strategies, um, and implementing processes that deliver value to global businesses, makes him really fit to have this conversation. We've been talking about the Black Friday phenomenon today, and hopefully someone out there has learned a thing or two. Any final tips before we wrap up?
Well, I would just say, you guys, everybody have fun. I mean, let's make it a very interesting Black Friday. And retailers, please, I also want some offers. Let's be nice to the customers. All right. Thank you,
Nice
everyone.
to the customers.
Yes.
All right, now I'm thinking about it. I should have a Black Friday deal on one. I'm thinking I should develop something. Maybe I'll have a
That'd be
conversation with
great.
you a little later on. I'll be shooting
Awesome.
you a message via LinkedIn to see how we can work that out. Quite a lot of
Thank you.
different podcasts on offer this season. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Ladikwaja.
you so much, TT, and nice to be here. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye.
And there you have it. The Black Friday phenomenon is something that people still consider a little bit new to Nigeria, but is really burning a hole in the advertising space. And when I say burning a hole, I mean a lot of people are making brand new commercials, advertising, figuring out different strategies to attract more buyers to their websites. They're looking at how retailers can deal with online competition. They're looking to make sure that they start the year better than they ended it, starting from Black Friday. Started during the pandemic, and this click to buy website phenomenon, especially on Black Friday, has possibly taken over. Have you optimized your website for Black Friday? Have you optimized your social media? Those are some of the questions you should be asking yourself or your team right now. My name is TitiOyinsan Oyinsan. It's been a pleasure. Until we come your way next time, have a great evening. Bye. Oh, before I forget, if you would like to be a part of the next edition of One on One, all you have to do is shoot us an email, dynamitepodcastnetwork@gmail.com, dynamitepodcastnetwork@gmail.com. As soon as you do, we will get back to you and hopefully we'll be having a conversation soon. Have a great evening, everyone.